Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about color mixing, and the best way to learn about color mixing is through the tool which we have, and the most fantastic tool which we have is our color wheel. So I used to dread about the color wheel, that how would I understand, but once you do and once you practice accordingly, you will be very amazed as to the number of colors which we can actually make out of it. So I will share my camera and show you my desk so that we can do together. So this is a color wheel which I had prepared long years back, but I also have one from Amazon. Since this is a smaller version, uh, I would like to use my own color wheel. You can even get a bigger version of this, which is as big as this. Basically, what is a color wheel? Color wheel is a diagrammatic representation of all the colors which any visual artist will use when they are creating their paintings. Now, the medium could be different for each of us. It could be watercolors, it could be oil pastels, it could be acrylic or any other medium. But the way these colors will interact with each other will remain the same for all the mediums. That is why this color mixing class is for all of us, whoever wants to learn about color mixing. And mixing, because it is a verb, we will need to practice it few number of times. So the basic color wheel has three colors. There are three primary colors which cannot be created, which are given to us. These colors are red, yellow, and blue. So I will make a small diagram of the three primary colors. So primary yellow, primary red, and primary blue. These are the three primary colors. And when we mix them, we get different colors. For example, when I mix primary red with primary yellow, I'll get a secondary orange, secondary color orange. When I mix primary yellow with primary blue, I will get secondary green. And when I mix primary blue with primary red, I will get secondary violet or purple. There's a small distinction between violets and purple. Purple will have more of pink in it and violet will have more of blue in it. So let's make a circle with these secondary colors as well. We have just created, we will get the tertiary colors. Tertiaries we get when this secondary color will split into two and will move in both the directions. So this secondary green is moving towards this yellow and it is becoming yellow green. After it has become yellow green, only then will it become yellow. From the yellow, it is moving towards orange. That means it will first become yellow orange. Then it will become orange. And from orange, it is moving towards red. That means it is becoming red orange first. After becoming red orange, then it will become red. And from red, it is moving towards violet. That's why it will first become red violet, because it will attract the properties of violet in it. And then from red violet, it will become pure violet. When it is pure violet, it is moving from its place, transitioning from its place towards blue. So it will first become blue violet and then it will become blue. From the place of blue, it will become blue green because it is moving towards secondary green.
Geet, can you repeat this tertiary?
Blue. The secondary colors are orange. How? Because we are mixing red and yellow and we are creating an orange. We are mixing yellow and blue, and we are creating a green. We are mixing this blue and this red, and we are creating a violet. These are the first two steps. From these six colors now, we had three primaries, we created three secondaries. From this secondary color, which is also called complementary color, we will get our tertiary colors because the secondary will split in two directions. This secondary color, for example, let's say green. Okay, green is a secondary color because we mixed it with our yellow and blue and we created this green. So green is splitting in two directions. It is splitting towards yellow, and green is also splitting towards blue area. So before becoming pure yellow, the green is when it is moving towards yellow, it is attracting elements of yellow into it. That is why it is becoming, first it is becoming yellow green, then it is, and as it is moving towards the yellow, it is leaving the greens, right? Since it is leaving the greens, that's why it is becoming pure yellow. Similarly, when this green is moving towards this blue, so the secondary green, which is now moving towards the blue, will first attract elements of blue and become a blue-green. Start leaving the elements of green and will become pure blue. Okay. Similarly, this blue, when it is moving this side towards the violet, it will first become blue violet. And then as it further moves towards this violet, it will be leaving the blues and remain only as violet. This violet, when it is moving towards the red zone, red because primary red we are thinking about. So it will first become red violet, and as it becomes red violet, it is losing the violet color and it is attracting more of red. As it is attracting more of red and losing the violet at the same time, it is becoming redder and redder till it becomes completely red like this. Now this red is first attracting this orange. We had created this orange by mixing red and yellow when we created the secondary colors. So when this red is moving towards this orange, it is attracting elements of orange. So it is called red orange. And then as it moves further towards the orange zone, it will leave the red and it will become pure orange. This secondary orange, as it wants to move, because it is a wheel, the color will transition towards yellow, is attracting what color? It is moving towards yellow, it is attracting yellow. And what is it leaving? It is leaving the red because now it is moving away from the red and moving towards the yellow. Moving towards the yellow, attracting yellow, leaving the red means it is becoming yellow-orange from being orange. That is why we need the color wheel. This is a basic. This is like alphabets we have. And from the alphabets, we get to make words and sentences. So we understood that the secondary is splitting and moving in two directions. That's why we are having blue, violet, and then blue, green. And then we are going to green. From green, we are getting yellow, green. From yellow, green, we are becoming yellow. And from yellow, we are going into yellow, orange. And the circle continues. And the last, which we have just talked about, are the tertiary. Two things, warm colors and cool colors. Warm colors are red, yellow, and orange. Okay. And the cool colors are blue, green, and violet. So if you look at this part of the color wheel, almost the half of this color wheel, the half of this color wheel has yellows, has oranges and reds. So it is yellow, orange, and red, which are the warm colors. The other half of this color wheel, it has blue, green, and violets. So this is the cool zone. Why are we talking about warm and cool colors? Because when we are painting, we have to consider color temperature. Now, what is color temperature? It's the color temperature is basically we cannot just look at any one color, say yellow for here, for example. Say yellow, for example, if we just look at yellow, we cannot particularly say that this is a warm color or a cool color. Color temperature can be understood only in comparison with another color. Now we can see that this looks slightly warmer because it has attracted more elements of orange in it compared to this yellow, which has no orange in itself. So this yellow, which has no orange because red, yellow and orange are warm colors, this is relatively cooler in comparison with this. Now let's say we take three of these. Now in this three, which is the coolest? Which looks the coolest to us?
The yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one looks the coolest. And now which is the warmest one?
The orange. Yeah.
Correct. This has most of the red in it in comparison with these three.
Thing that I understood was that as we move towards red on the color wheel,
Yes,
um, it becomes warmer,
yes,
right? And
correct.
as we move towards blue, it
Blue
is
zone,
cooler.
cooler. Yes,
Yeah.
because
So, I mean, talking of the three primary colors, if we're talking about color temperature, the in terms of movement, the significant colors are red and blue. Like
yellow
doesn't.
is also, yellow is
Okay.
also, these are three basic primary colors which cannot be created. They are given to us.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
these three only you can create the secondary color. If you do not have a yellow, how will you create a green? Because yellow and blue will make a green, which is the
Okay.
secondary color. Three
Okay.
primaries, three secondaries, and then six tertiary colors.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. ठीक है. ठीक है. Okay. Okay.
So with regard to color temperature, let's say we have got these three colors. Okay, so which of these do you think is the warmest?
Yellow.
Yeah, these are all of them are yellow. And which is the
Oh,
coolest?
the bright. Yeah, the one in the yeah.
This one is the coolest of all
List.
yellows, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And in terms of warmth, this has more of reddish and
Red.
orangish
Yeah.
tinge to it,
So
but it
that's
is also
warmest.
slightly grayer, slightly dull,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or slightly earthy in nature.
Mm.
Okay, yellow and violet. For example, if there is the yellow sofa and I put violet cushions on that, it will also look very stark and vibrant. So these two are also complementary colors. And orange and blue. These are placed directly opposite to each other on the color wheel. So these are complementary colors. When placed side by side, blue and orange will look highly attractive.
Oh, so it actually reminds me of a lot of the Kanjivaram silk sarees and
Yeah,
the Bharatnatyam costumes. You know, they actually
yeah,
work in these combinations
yes,
quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
features. Every color on the color wheel that we see is a complementary color of for the other. There is something called analogous colors also. So analogous colors are those which are close to this red zone. Maybe I have a gown or a dress or a sari which has red and pink and orange in it. So that is called an analogous color. If I have a tomato red color, something with tomato red color or light red and dark red, these are close combinations of colors. So these are called analogous colors. Very many analogous colors. Okay.
Um,
This also has a lot of analogous colors
Pretty.
in them. Hmm. Thank you. This also will look highly stark and gorgeous because of the use of these complementary colors. Then there's another one. It has both a combination of analogous colors as well as complementary colors. If I want to make a bright green, what are the colors that I can go for? To make a green, we know that we mix yellow and blue. So any yellow that has an element of green in it will help us. Blue, which has no red in it, is closest to what kind of colors? A green which is like yellow green and a green which is like blue green. Taking two other colors to mix this green which are closest to this. So I'm putting in lemon yellow and I have some cobalt blue, sorry. This is close to some green, right? Let me add some yellow to it. It is gradually looking like a greenish thing.
The blue you use?
The one previously, right now,
No, the one
cobalt,
you're doing now.
cobalt.
Cobalt. Thank you.
So I have another light blue. So let me use that light blue and find out. So another patch of yellow first. And this kind of mixing, if you're doing likewise, it is called mixing on paper. Because we are just taking the colors from the palette and we are mixing it on our paper.
I like the yellow and the cobalt blue.
Hmm.
Makes a
Okay.
nice green.
Yeah. This is cerulean blue. This time I'm using cerulean blue here
Yeah.
with my lemon yellow.
Okay, I just did that.
Oh, very good.
No, I use cobalt.
Okay. Yeah, so as many blues we have, we can just try out and see what it gives us, the results.
Yeah.
And you can also write it side by side so that next time you refer to this page, you will know that what blues you used because yellow, I'm using the same yellow only. And I have got another blue with me, which is called Halo Blue Green Shade. So I will use that one also. You have a sap green, but if you don't have, then you can reach this bright green close enough using different blues which you have. What we need to consider is that that blue should not be having red in it because if it does, then it will dull it down. For example, this one also I had created with lemon yellow and French ultramarine. This one
Right,
also. And
right.
because it has red, French ultramarine has red in it,
Ah,
so it is giving me a dullish green and from here the cobalt blue is looking better. But if I want a bright orange, what do I do? Want to make any color, be it orange, green, any color, whatever comes to your mind. Okay, first find it where it is sitting on the color wheel. Yeah, we will choose two colors, yellow and red, which are close to this orange.
yeah.
Okay.
Any two colors, choose any two. If you don't have a direct orange tube or whatever, so choose yellow and red, which is in close proximity to this destination where you want to reach.
Mm.
Choose any red which has blue in it, it will dull out my orange because blue is direct complementary of orange. What if they are mixed? We will get a dullness, which will dull out when mixed together, which has no green in it. And if I choose any yellow which has green in it, green, how do we make green? By
Mm.
mixing yellow and blue.
Yeah.
That is why we will not choose any green that has blue in it. Margaret, now I'm answering your question as to how not to get a muddy color.
Okay.
Okay, so let's understand. I want to understand what will happen if I add some blues to this because blue is the direct complementary of orange. And I have taken some ultramarine, French ultramarine, and I'm adding it. After adding some blue to my bright orange, it is not looking as bright. Why is so?
On mine is actually looking a bit brown.
Red flowers with green leaves look beautiful. But if I mix
Mm-hmm.
red and green, it will give me brownish color.
Mm.
So if we
Yeah.
mix complementary colors, any of the complementary colors, it makes it brownish.
Yeah.
Okay. So how not to create the complementary colors? Do not mix them.
Yeah. I've
So
just written
paint.
myself a note.
Yeah, even I do that.
Yeah.
So there's another person, Juliana. So she has asked one question, which I will take up now. This will be our last question. It is
Okay.
how to darken a color.
Okay.
Now, there are two ways to darken a color. Let's say I have some red, and to
Yeah.
this red, if I add, so if I'm adding queen magenta to this red, it is darkening itself. Another way to darken is to add very slight bit of its complementary. So first I will take some red and add tiny drop of green to it. Okay.
What were we doing? Red and green.
Uh-huh. That didn't happen. Take some
That
more
looks
red.
rusty. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll use
take,
another red.
take.
Oh dear.
So,
Well, it's
whenever we are mixing colors, put put the lighter color first and
yep.
add very small amount of the darker color. If we
Okay.
add a lot of dark color, then we will finish half of our lighter colors and then we will be able to arrive at the required color. On the color wheel, you will see one red, which is the primary red.
Yes.
So this primary red has gone darker by moving towards the violet zone, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we can take any other color from our color kit which is looking slightly darker than this red. It can even be perylene red or perylene maroon, and you can add perylene red or perylene maroon to your red to make it darker.
Okay.
Okay,
I did use red. I used
you can
Coca-Cola.
also, yeah, but very tiny drop of green, almost invisible,
Yeah, I
kind of.
must have put too much green in.
Yeah, yeah. So that is another area of color mixing. That is the proportion of paint which we are using. If we Okay, so red is adding little more pink to it. We can add little more violet to it because we see that red is going from here and moving towards violet. It is adding some pink, it is adding some violet, it is adding some blue to it, and it is going darker. Means it is
Okay.
attracting the darker colors from the blue zone because now it is moving towards the darker zone.
Okay. my color wheel here a long time ago. I don't,
Excellent.
can you see
Ex
that? But this is what I did with you tonight.
Yeah, this is for application purpose, how we are
Yeah,
doing.
but
So,
and these are the colors I made with you.
okay. Yeah,
So
very nice. Very
this,
nice. So thank you everyone for attending this session. Thanks a lot. I hope you learned something. And if you need any other help, do let me know. Thank you.